first-time reader, a philosophical work like Hume's Enquiry Concerning Human Understanding can be a bit challenging because of the subtlety of the arguments that are involved. And so I try to do three things to try to make the task of, or the sort of the reading of Enquiry a much more enjoyable process. First, I thought it was important to situate the work historically, to give us a sense of where Hume was coming from so that we could appreciate his overall project of developing what he called the science of human nature. Why was he interested in this project? What was his main influence? What was he reacting to? And that I tried to achieve in the introductory essay and the background essay, to try to set the stage for the broad overall philosophical project so that we can understand and keep that in view as we read through more detailed arguments. Then within the text, the annotations tend to be of two kinds. First, there is explanatory annotations where there might be some passage that is particularly dense or some passage where Hume introduces a really important distinction, such as the distinction between impressions and ideas in section 2 of Enquiry. And there, it's always really important to enhance our appreciation of the work if we can see what exactly is Hume trying to do here. And so some of the annotations, probably the majority of them, are explanatory. The second type of annotation that I thought was valuable to the reader, which was valuable to me, was filling in all the references, or not all, but almost as many as I could find of the references to previous philosophers. Hume was very fond of the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, and he'll sometimes just start referring to them either by name or not by name. And if we don't know what he's referring to and what were the views of those great thinkers, we don't appreciate fully the point that Hume is trying to make. Pointing the reader to sources, to those original sources, I thought was really valuable, because you can go back and read something about what this particular thinker, whoever was Cato or whoever, said, and how that fits into Hume's views. And the other type of annotation that I thought would be very useful to readers, and again this comes from my experience of having had lots of first-time readers come to Hume who have been my students, was to give the reader a summary to each section of the book. The book is divided into 12 sections, and some of those sections have 2 parts. But sometimes with these philosophical texts, it can be very helpful to see sort of where you're going. So not only is there a general introductory essay, but also each individual section of Enquiry has its own introduction. I specifically wrote my annotations in mind, with the general reader in mind. My annotations were really directed at a general reader who is interested in philosophy, but sometimes can be discouraged because you start reading the first couple of paragraphs and you kind of hit a wall. And Hume is such an important English language philosopher, so influential, that I thought this would be a great place for someone who's curious about philosophy and its relationship to contemporary issues, its relationship to science. It would be a great place to start for the general reader. Now it just so happens that that also speaks very well to the students that I read Hume with. My goal was to really try to guide the reader through the experience of reading philosophy, which can be challenging, but it can be immensely rewarding.
Download the eNotated and Enquiry Concerning Human Understanding from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, and Apple iBook stores.